Hey YouTube, Mr. Black Mamba 305 here with you today, and I know I haven't dropped a lot of videos. It's just work and school and all that stuff. I've been super busy. I've been dropping more shorts than anything else, but when I do try to drop something, I try to do the best of it as I possibly can. And as you guys can tell by the topic, we're going to talk about a border crisis and how it affects you. And then, as with most videos that I've done in the past, I want to pretty much link that with some kind of gun related items because my channel is mostly about firearms and having fun with firearms, educating people on the 2A, not as much as Colin Noir, but just do my part, to promote safe shooting with firearms and just spreading the love for firearms that I've had with other people. So I try to tie that in with with whatever video that I make. And again, guys, if you like the content that I'm about to make or that you've seen already, just feel free to go ahead and like, subscribe, and share the video with your friends, family, and whoever else you think might enjoy this kind of content. And if you like what I'm doing, let me know, and I'll do more of this content. If you like my opinion, you don't like my opinion, if you enjoy the dialogue, just let me know. Go in the comments and say whatever you guys like to say. I'm not gonna take any offense to it, and it's just in not really good fun, but just an open dialogue. So as you guys can know, again, like I said, I'm pretty much a 2A guy. I love firearms, as you guys can tell from my videos, my shorts, and obviously the topic. So we're going to talk about the border crisis and its impact on you as it relates to firearms and so forth. So first and foremost, I'm going to say I am an immigrant myself. I originally was born in Jamaica, and I came here to go to school. Obviously, somewhat, I didn't really take advantage of the system, but I came here for school and I stayed here after school. I love this country. I would consider myself a patriot because even though I'm from Jamaica, I love Jamaica, I also have set root here, and my children will be born here. I'll probably die in this country. So, as should anyone that immigrated here and live here permanently, you should be a patriot. If you're not a patriot, then maybe you shouldn't really be here. I just find it hard where people who come to this country and take its resource, whether it's educationally, academically or otherwise, and go to their country to build it up, fail to see themselves as American. If you came here, you took the resources, and you enjoyed the freedom that this country offers, then you should be a patriot. So I consider myself a patriot, and this should just give you something to think about. So let's. I don't want to get off topic too much, but I just want to say that I was an immigrant. So the views that I'm going to share later on is not going to be necessarily against immigrants, but against the process with which the immigrants enter. And obviously, we already know what goes on, with Biden, with what the Biden administration is actually doing. I'm just gonna go out and say before I even continue or go on to any of my points. I think my personal opinion. I studied politics in college, so I was a political science major. I had my master's in criminal justice. So personally, I think that what the Biden administration is doing and the aim of what they were doing, obviously, we know that they're trying to get the votes. They're trying to bring all these illegal immigrants in, pretty much, find a way to have them have their votes count and then try to sway the election one way or another, simply because they know they can't win by just, letting the votes go. And to me, this just screams we stole the election, pretty much. And I would say majority of Republicans pretty much knew that election was stolen. There's no way this man won so many states, and then you're gonna tell him, hey, guess what? I'm sorry you lost. It just doesn't make any sense. And what they're trying to do now by getting these illegal immigrants in our country and trying to get them to vote during voting time, just so they can win a couple votes. It's you know what I mean. It's just it's disgusting, and obviously that's what they're trying to do. I also think that they know that they're gonna lose the election, but why not? Why not? This is my opinion of what I think that they're doing. Why not just, even though we're gonna lose, because they know they're gonna lose. There's no way in hell they think that the Democrats are gonna win this election. Biden and or Kamala Harris, that combination is gonna win this election. Like how? First of all, I don't want to disrespect our, our commander in chief because he's still our president, and he holds so many powers in his hands. If he want, he could put us into a third world war tomorrow, so I don't want to be disrespectful, but at the same time, come on. Every day we see his incompetency. Every day, it's hard to not see it. Every speech he's make, everywhere he's going, he's another meme. This mispronouncing his word, not knowing what he's talking about. And again, I'm Jamaican. Kamala Harris is originally from Jamaica, and we don't own her. We do not own her. I'm telling you that we don't. I think one of the best representatives out of Jamaica in politics that we've had was Colin Powell. If anybody was to run for president or vice president that we would have fully supported was Colin Powell. And I don't ever really think that's coming. I think that was one intelligent gentleman, and he had the right to. He could have ran for president and would have probably gone a long way, even over Barack Obama. To be honest with you, but Kamala Harris, man, she's a disappointment. Even when she was, a governor, a senator, she was terrible at her job. Just the things that she's done. It's just like how would you let somebody like this come in? Just like how when Barack Obama was president and he brought Joe Biden as his running mate, and just Biden's history of the kind of racism that he had. And I'm not going to just spew that out. I'm just going to let people go out, do their research, and look up Biden and all the things that he's done or that he said against minorities. I'm not going to come out here and spew anything and just spread any propaganda. Go do your research and look at, and you'll find it. And the things that this man has said, and yet so we embrace them just because he's a part of the Democratic Party. So let's get back on track again. Well, the border impact. Now, obviously, we see what Governor Senator Abbott is doing in Texas. He's fighting against the system because he's actually seen the impact it has on his community. I don't understand how a president is gonna take all this money and give it and put it into the hands of illegal immigrants and have them come across the border. And again, it's so cliche. Everybody has said it everywhere in every vlog, and I don't want to just beat a dead horse, but there's so many people within our country right now, people with student loans that are in debt, that have families, and they're still struggling to pay for college and food and and getting by. There was a recent study saying that the middle class in the United States now are losing their homes, which is, I can see that because I've heard so many people that are middle class that I know. I would consider myself somewhat middle class. I'm not rich. I'd say I'm right out of the lower class, right at I'm just right there on the edge, But I hear the story every day about people like just barely making ends meet. And these are people that are nurses, that are lawyers, that are just can't barely seem to make ends meet. And they're barely buying groceries. When they do buy groceries, it's the essentials. And they can. That's why sometimes I find it hard to see, even when you're dating someone and you hear them say, "I want to travel this year." You're like, where the fuck are you getting that money to be traveling all year? Like, are you not seeing what's going on? You know what I mean? So I just don't understand why people in America can't live comfortably, but yet still we can take trillions of dollars, send it to Ukraine, hundreds of millions of dollars, pour it into illegal immigrants coming into our country, when veterans who fought for for this country can't even, a lot of them are homeless. They can't get any help with their mental illness. They can't get any programs to fund them, to help them mentally or anywhere to sleep. We have the homeless population going on in California, yet still they have an influx of people coming into that state and giving them food and money and gift cards, PlayStations, expensive hotels, but yet still we can't take care of our own people. How is it that people that are Democrats look at this and say, hey, listen, no, our president is amazing. Just a few years ago, they were saying that, hey, by the time you hit 65, if you're a certain age, there's not going to be any social security for you. But yet still they can come up with trillions of dollars to send to Ukrainians. And the Ukrainians that are coming over here are living better lives than you are. The Ukrainians that are leaving Ukraine and coming as refugees here, believe me, all of them live in great neighborhoods in Florida. And it's like they move from one to war-torn area, come here to the United States, and are living better lives than people that have been living in this country and pouring into this country for decades. And is that fair? Can't be fair. It just can't. And as we go back to the border crisis and what Governor Abbott is doing over there, he's fighting against the system because he knows this can't be right. And I think a lot of Republicans, knew that this isn't right, and they just kind of didn't want to ride the train yet because they knew that Biden still had some power left. But as it came down to it, you can see that Governor Abbott, and obviously I'm in the state of Florida, Ron DeSantis has always been outspoken, about, even though you hear him going back and forth with about President Trump, he's a Trump supporter. I don't care what anybody says. I feel as though if Trump should win the election, I think he should run with Governor Ron DeSantis. I definitely endorse Ron DeSantis, because whatever you guys say, man, you come to Florida, none of that foolishness is gonna happen. All the things that you see happening in Texas, where they're just overrunning the border, or in New York where an influx of immigrants are coming through and attacking cops and beating up cops and beating up residents, and you can't even defend yourself. That would never happen in Florida. I don't ever see that happen. First of all, I'm telling you, I live here, and there's no way I have my concealed carry all the time. There's no way a group of immigrants are gonna attack me and leave unscathed. In no way, shape, or form. I don't ever see that happening. I don't see any individual attacking me and getting away unscathed if I don't provoke them. So imagine those people coming here. You notice you don't hear nothing like that in Florida? Immigrants attacking people in Florida? Because first of all, I guarantee you, if it's done where a citizen here is attacked by a group of immigrants and that citizen reacts and defends himself, we're a stand of ground state. It's not gonna fly. I don't think Ron DeSantis is not gonna back us. He will 1,000% back us. And first of all these people in New York, how they act tough and New Yorkers this, y'all getting your ass whooped by immigrants. And you guys were supposed to be so tough in New York. But you guys are getting beat down by immigrants that are not even supposed to be in your state. And the way our New Yorkers just sat down and take it, let the influx come into your state, and y'all do nothing about it. You know what I mean? All these same Democrats that are saying, come on in, they're crying, stay on out, stay on out. Now I've seen on the news where residents of New York are actually blocking bus coming in, bringing in immigrants. You know what I mean? And I don't know why they didn't start this before, because I honestly feel like it's kind of too late now. Those immigrants they're all over your state, everywhere. They're already starting gangs already, because there's on the news already where, there's already organized crime with immigrants. One immigrant is paying people. Listen, these people are criminals in their own country. And again, I don't have a problem with immigrants coming here. I have a problem with what I have a problem with. All the ones that means no good that are coming here, and the ones that are here are taking resources from people that already live here and can't get those said resources. That just can't be right. And again, I just keep going back and forth, but with Greg Abbott, I applaud what he's doing. Greg Abbott, with Senator Abbott, I definitely applaud what he's doing in the state of Texas, and I 1,000% support him. Governor Abbott is getting support obviously from our state, from Governor Ron DeSantis, who took the first initiative to send a lot of help, troops from the National Guard, and he sent supplies to help to reinforce the border. And I see that a lot of President Trump and representatives from about 25 Republican states are supporting Governor Abbott, and I just want to applaud those governors and the senators from that state, governors from that state that are doing that thing. And I want to say thank you, Governor Ron DeSantis, for doing what you're doing, in all those other states. And Trump 2024. Again, I'm just going to say that out loud. I really don't care what people think. I've been a Republican pretty much since I've been in this country. I've never voted based on color because, this party is for blacks. No, I vote based on issues, and that's because I'm educated and I think about stuff. I don't just go ahead and say, oh yeah, my grandfather voted Democrat and my great grandfather. I don't care about none of that. I'm from Jamaica, and in my country, it's kind of like that, where people vote based on what their parents and their grandparents voted on, and they don't think about the issues at hand and how it affects them really. And somebody will be friends for 20 years, and because they vote, they switch sides, they don't talk to them again. And I don't do that. I've had friends here who, because I said I voted for Trump for however many years, stop talking to me. Facts. And it blows my mind that we live in this country and your friend will stop talking to you because you voted for one party over another. It makes no sense to me. I forgot that. I believe that. I thought that we were free to do whatever the hell we want. You know what I mean? And everybody should just appreciate it. But it's not the case as it is. And I'm getting a little bit off topic. Like I said, today's discussion was going to be a little bit long-winded, so I don't care. So I really support Governor Abbott for doing what he's doing, and I definitely want to hats off to him for taking the initiative, and I hope many more governors who are suffering the same fate, where they're having an influx of illegal immigrants coming into our country, take the same initiative and just say no and put up the borders. And even though the section of border that they're creating, is not as big as in comparison to all of the geography of the state, it's a step in the right direction to me. And I've seen a lot of videos on the internet where even some of the immigrants are tearing down the fences, and I'm like, yo, when did our country become so weak to where, like, you have pro-Palestine supporters are going to the White House and like shaking on gates and almost want to kick down the gate to go to the White House, and they just don't do anything. That blows my mind. Where immigrants are standing outside of the fence and they're tearing down the fence while the people are putting up the fence at the same time. Where is the audacity to attack our country like that? And that is an attack. You know what I mean? And they've left us so susceptible to, so much. I mean, the Biden administration has left us so susceptible to so many things, to so many dangers in our country, and just giving out our resources to other countries, giving our resources out to, illegal immigrants. And the people that are here are saying, yeah, that's okay. It's okay. And what drives me crazy is that we can get together as a people and march for Black Lives Matters, yet still all that money from Black Lives Matters went to like 3 black people who stole that money, bought big houses and went to luncheons and didn't even put anything back into the black community. You know what I mean? We can march like that and destroy our country, but yet still when it comes to standing up for for actually standing up for our country and our defenses and our integrity and prayer in school and and not pushing certain agenda on kids and making America great and and looking and like taking care of our people first and putting America first and building the infrastructure in our country and making that infrastructure, as great as America is seen by other countries. Because now America I think other countries just look at us like, they just open up their borders. They come to America and they're not impressed. I heard Donald Trump made a speech a few years ago and he said, when you go to some other countries like Saudi Arabia and other European countries, you walk through their airport, you're just boom, you're just so astonished how beautiful it is. And then you come to Miami International Airport, you go to these airports, Fort Lauderdale, wherever, New York. I went through New York a couple months ago, and I'm telling you, it just looks so, So we spend all this money trying to fix other countries, and yet our infrastructure is crap. Our people are struggling at the supermarket, at the gas stations, daycare, bills. We can't even work and get, a raise from our jobs in our own counties and our states. We work for nickels and dimes. If you try to get a raise from your company, they put you to rigmarole months and months before you can get a 50-cent raise. But yet still we can give trillions away in the drop of a hat to Ukraine. And we can give hundreds of millions of dollars to a bunch of people who never paid into Social Security. Or taxes. Every year they give you pennies back on the thousands of dollars you pay in taxes every year. But yet still we just give PlayStations, Xbox, and the best hotels you can find to a bunch of people who've never paid into our system, and then tell us that when we get to a certain age, we're not going to be able to get anything back from Social Security because you gave it away to a bunch of. How is that correct? And a lot of times I even watch, Karine Jean Pierre. She comes on. Let me tell you something, Karine. They better have a cushy little position for you after you're done. After Biden's tenure is done, they should have out of those trillions of dollars that they send into Ukraine and given to all these illegal immigrants. They should take out a lot of that little money and put it in a little safe for you. Because the way you come out and take the brunt of those meetings every day in those press secretary meetings, man, let me tell you something, girl. Listen, let me tell you something, little gay girl. They should have a nice little chunk pull away for you because I mean, Kamala's not taking the beating like you are. Joe Biden's not taking it. She is like, the poor. I look at her sometimes. I said, man, I know she must really think like, why am I doing this? Why are they putting me out to this? Because they put her out to get beat up every day. Just the questions she's getting, you're like, girl, stop. Just her answers she gives. And she's like, and the president is, and the president, I'm like, nobody wants it. Everybody, like every word that comes out of her mouth is just a lie. You know what I mean? We know it, and we know that after Biden's administration, you're never going to have a career in politics. Everybody knows that. I guess nobody told her, and I guess she doesn't really care because by the time it's said and done, they will set her up with a nice little house, a nice little, severance package that's going to make her and her girlfriend live comfortable for the rest of her life. And one of the things, to digress, one of the things that I'm looking forward to when President Biden takes office again. President Trump takes office again is for him to help solve the border crisis. And and give me 1 second, guys. And again, you hear in the news, you'll hear President Biden say, oh, they're tying my hands, I can't do this, and I'm needing the Senate to help me do this. Listen, he's president. He can make a rule today if he wants to and solve the border crisis, but he's stalling the American people because a lot of American people, they don't read the news, they don't watch politics, they don't read up anything about politics, so they think that, oh, the president says they're tying my hands, so he really can't do anything. He can make an executive decision and say, listen, the border is closed. He can, but he doesn't want to. Again, what I think he's trying to do is trying to have an influx of illegal immigrants because he knows he's not going to win fair and square. So he's doing this dirty little tactic to bring people in, force the hands of the law to let them be able to be vote so they can sway the vote for the Democratic Party. And we all know it's not going to work because I don't think there's going to be a law passed. Because now Republican senators are now pushing back. I don't know what it is within the past month or so. Senators are standing up. They're going after people that are just dirty. All those people that were standing up as Democrats and just getting away with all kind of unlawful things in Congress. Now the Republican people in the Senate and Congress are saying, nah, we see your little dirty things and we're gonna check that now. So I'm glad to see that the climate in Congress is changing. Republicans are standing up. They're not passing any bill in favor of any kind of stupidness that the Democrats are pushing. And I think we're on our way to changing our country and bringing it back to what it was when Trump was in power. I see another thing I see where Karine, she came on TV and said, oh, the Border Patrol agent putting up the fence in Texas is actually hindering the border agents from doing their job. Their job is to keep illegal immigrants out, and that's what the fence is doing. How is that stopping them from doing their job? And she's saying, oh, because they can't get aid to people across the border. Yeah, they need to go back across the border, get back into Mexico, and go back to their country. And then we won't have to give them any aid. This is our border. A country without border is not a country at all. It's common sense. Why do you think China put up that long wall? To say no more. Why do you think on your map there's borders around every country? It's to say, I'm here, you're there. Why do you think when people go out in maritime stuff in the ocean, you can't fire certain weapons on certain grid lines, longitudinal lines? That's a border. Why do you think certain airplanes can't fly over Cuba? That's Cuba's border in the skies. This is our airspace. You come over here and willy-nilly do whatever you want, that is no longer their country. That's just free-for-all space. You know? Why do you think Poland doesn't have an influx of illegal civilians? Because they say, we have a border, we don't want everybody coming in. There's something to maintain within their country. They want to still have a certain identity. And I know that the United States is a bouillabaisse, a melting pot of everyone, but there's a process to which it must be done. And I think Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, oh man, every time I say Kamala Harris, I'm so sick to my stomach of that woman. You know, she's probably one of the worst vice president behind Joe Biden, because he was a terrible vice president. He just was, and you can tell Barack Obama didn't care too much for him. Barack didn't give him any props, and we all saw that when during Barack's presidency, even though he's one of the worst presidents we've ever had. And all you black people out there, you Democrats, you can say whatever you want. You all know, is stupid. Medicaid plan is Barack, I mean, I don't care about his medical plan. That was trash. And then when he was forcing people to get insurance, not everybody wanted insurance during your presidency, Mr. Obama. You know what I mean? And it's not that great of a insurance plan anyways. It's terrible. I always wish that crap was just gone. You know, Biden, I mean, bro, I don't even care what his medical plan was. It was trash. You know, and then he was forcing people during the 8 years of his presidency to buy insurance. People were never getting their taxes back. Can you imagine a family with 6 people, no insurance? They didn't get anything back. And there was people looking forward to their tax. I'm sorry I digress, man, but he was such a terrible president. To me, he was the president of forcing, the LGBT, crap down people's throat. He was the president of forcing, the same rhetoric and nastiness in schools on kids. He's the same president I'm not even gonna get started on Barack, man. People look at him and think that he was this great president for who? For who? Not for black folks. You know what I mean? And I don't want to turn into a racial thing, but honestly, not for black folks. Not for black folks. We all know that. Anyway, back on track again. So so like I said, I do applaud what Governor Greg Abbott has done in Texas, and I really wish more states would come in. Even some of the states now that are that are majority Democratic, they're switching. Obviously, any interview you see where black folks are talking, nobody's voting for Biden. This man is mentally incapable of running a country. This man won't even come and do press events. He had the opportunity during the recent Super Bowl to have a Super Bowl debate, and he turned it down. Why do you think? It's obvious. He could not go against Donald Trump. It would just be disaster. It's already a disaster. Already. To just watch it. Sometimes I watch him and he's having this speech and I'm just like, have you ever watched somebody and it's just so embarrassing to watch to where you're like, God, I can't even watch this. That's how I feel watching this man speak. And for his wife, for his family to just constantly let him go out there and just embarrass himself. You see him go, and I'm not trying to make fun of him. I really am not. But I'm speaking on things that are already obvious. You see him, go out there and he's in the speech and they're telling him, oh, this person's this person, that person's that. And he's just there like this. Like he has no clue. To me, it's like, if this man can run the country, you can just pick a student from Harvard or a student from wherever, put them in the White House and let them. That just goes to show me, man, it's not that difficult to run a country. especially, the free world. If this guy's running the country and you see all the foolishness that he does, how difficult it is to be a president or a prime minister. Then in that, you remember back in the days when people used to say, "Oh, one day I want to be the president." Hey, Biden showed you that, hey, anybody can be a president because you can have zero brain cells and still get endorsed to be the president of the United States. It is just what it is. So now, again, I know I rambled on, but this was, again, this is a vlog of mine and I don't put myself under the time limit. This is just open up for discussion. But guys, tell me what you guys think about what Governor Greg Abbott is doing in Texas. And if you feel like it's the right thing, what do you think the impact is going to be on our country after, Biden's been kicked out of the White House and President Trump comes back in? And fun fact, guys, 45th, 46th, 47th President of the United States, Donald Trump in 2024, because we know he won the last election. So he's going to be the first president that served, that won 3 terms. Facts. I'm not lying. So now I want to turn that into how that affects the gun community. So with having these many people in our borders, we have people coming in from Mexico. We have cartel members. We have people coming from Palestine, people coming from all across the world. South America. Listen, I'm Jamaican, right? And I think that I thought my life could have gone one way or another, I think. Remembering my childhood and how I grew up in a very poor neighborhood. And yes, in the latter part of my years in Jamaica, my mom came into my life and she reined me together and made me the man I am today. But it could have easily gone the other way, where the men in my neighborhood that I grew up with, all day, every day, police officers, gunmen, crime, stabbing, killings, I've seen it all. So imagine if my life went that way. And then I decided, hey, I want to come to the United States. And I went through the border through Mexico and I'm here in the United States. That's what's happening at the borders. A lot of those men that have nothing to live for in their country, that are hiding from the law. What do you think they see our border as? A new start. So just in case you didn't think about it in that terms, these are some of the people that are crossing your borders. Rapists, murderers, ex-cons, criminals in their own country, serial killers in their own country. And they're bringing it here. The cartel, smuggling drugs in every day. How can you not think this is wrong? How do you think that our state is? Look at all those states. Places in now up north that are cold states that are run by that have a lot of Indian tribes are being infiltrated by the cartel, bringing in millions of dollars worth of fentanyl. Look at California. The fentanyl crisis is ridiculous there. How can you ever say to yourself, this is right? My president is doing the right thing, without due processly, filtering them into our system. When I became a citizen in this country, oh my God, if you're not a citizen, you won't understand this. One page of one form can be $900. 3 pages can be $1,500 to fill out and send in. Lawyers, the back and forth to immigration, the paperwork, how much it costs to wait to get to your green card, to work, to find a job. And imagine these people just walking through the border. It spits in my face. It spits in the face of the people before me that went to do that. Anyways, that's for another topic. I'll use that as another topic next time when I talk about it. So how it relates to these guns. Now, if these immigrants are moving into New York, now New York is fighting back. What do you think these immigrants are going to start doing? Branch out. They're going to start branching out. All these criminals, drug dealers, and don't get me wrong, I believe that there's some people that are actually good people coming in. I'm not saying all of them are bad. I'm just speaking on the ones that are potentially bad, right? They're branching out. And where do you think they're coming? A neighborhood near you. When it gets cold, when they can't make any money in New York, where do you think they're coming? Fam, where do you think they're coming? A neighborhood near you. And when they can't, and when it gets to the point where desperation, they can't find any jobs. I already see them in Florida, sitting on the sides, begging. Sometimes we don't give them money. You see the frustration in their eyes. When they have their kids to feed, their family to take care of, and they can't find no jobs, where do you think they're gonna go? In your bedroom, in your backyard. They're gonna start kicking down your doors. When you go on vacation, you're gonna see a whole family in your house. That's when these come in handy to protect yourself, because they will move into your house and then force you out of it, and then the law would end up backing them because of squatting laws. Oh, they lived in there for 3 days. You can't kick them out. And you will have problem getting into your own house. They will fight you in your own state. Like I saw them in New York, beating up citizens, attacking citizens in New York. You better be prepared. I'm not inciting any violence. I'm just saying. So my channel is on firearms. This is firearms related. Guys, if you like my content, go ahead and like, subscribe, and share. Mr. Black Mamba 305, signing out. I love you guys. If you guys want to see me make more of this content, please go ahead. Like, subscribe, and share. And let me know in the comments. Let this video go viral. And thanks for watching, guys. Peace.